What up, Raffalitos? Welcome back to my channel. We're back in this neck of the woods. Just came off of the East Bank Bypass Road, and this is the road that connects the East Bank Bypass Road to Peters Hall, to the East Bank Public Road at Peters Hall. But I wanted to take a look at new developments here in Eccles. So right beside the East Bank Bypass Road, there is a community that has emerged as one of the fastest growing residential neighborhoods in Guyana on the east bank of Demerara, and that's Eccles. Now we're about a mile and a half, 2 miles away from the East Bank Public Road, and we're looking at a street that was recently paved in Eccles. Now on the other side, right on the other side, we've looked at a number of communities, housing developments in It's a 3-story house. You saw that from the road, from the new road. We looked at a number of housing developments in Peters Hall, Windsor Estates, and in the next village, Providence, where the sheriff company is building their compound. But over here, these are single-family homes that are built by individual homeowners, and what is interesting about this place in Eccles is that 5 years ago it didn't exist. So all of these homes were built within the last 5 years. And 10 years ago, when I returned to Guyana, these roads were not paved and they were just scattered semi-constructed homes in Eccles. But you could see that it was growing rapidly, and now this is what it looks like.
Distance 4 miles. Duration 1 hour 1 minute 38 seconds. Pace 20 minutes 32 seconds per mile. 603 kilocalories burned.
This is Eccles. What I'll do is I'll take a look at this inner loop and see if we can complete it. Come back to this point. Now what do you notice is that the architecture is distinctly Canadian. So there's a time in the early 2000s, late 1990s, when this is what single-family homes look like in places like, Ajax, Pickering, and so on, Ontario. And a lot of these homes were constructed after people returned from Canada, and you can see that influence in the architecture. Not everybody, of course, returned from Canada, but they simply like the style and copied the architecture. This one is Ficus Street, so the streets now have names. That's Ficus, and this one is Cacique Drive. Let's go along Cacique's Drive and see what the homes look like on Cacique's Drive. Because what I noticed from the outside on the public road, that is the road south of here, which we were walking on a few days ago, is that these homes, this particular street, at least from the back, looked like all of the homes were exactly the same. And now that I have a chance to see the front of these homes, you can see that there is a distinct resemblance. The feature, the porch, for example, cover is the same on all of them, which suggests that they were built by the same developer. So that's interesting that these homes are all built by the same developer and perhaps then sold to the current homeowners. On this side you can see homes that are different. These homes are being built perhaps by individuals. Some of them in architecture that is extremely, well, not extreme, but exactly the same as what was common in Guyana. And there's reasons for that, I'll explain in a minute. But as you can see, these homes all have a covered front porch. Some of them seem empty, like this one. It's unoccupied, the vehicle abandoned inside of the house. These. So just from the observation of the architecture and the comparison of what is nearby, what is opposite, you can see that this row of homes here in Eccles was built by the same developer, and he simply used a formula and built them all the same. Now on the other side there are a couple of homes that seem to mimic that architecture I described, but this one, for example, is different. This one is built more like a townhome, so that's a townhouse that you would find perhaps in a city in North America. And next door, that one is built more like one of the Ontario homes. But like I say, what is interesting is that this entire line of homes are identical. The homes are all built with the same architectural details, at least on the outside. There is a carport on the side of some of them, on the open space in the others. Here, that's a townhome. This one is more traditionally built, just a concrete form of Chinese architecture. Morning. Good, good. How are you doing?
Great.
Just observing the architecture in the neighborhood. I live in Georgetown. I'm looking at the architecture on these homes.
Yeah.
So clearly the architecture reflects kind of North American, Ontario, Canada. It just gives me that vibe of a neighborhood in Ajax or Pickering, Whitby, you know, east of Toronto. And on the other side, it's much more of a mix of architecture. It's a dog. Hey little boy, what's happening? So, as you can see on the other side, there's a mix of architecture, some of it with design elements, roof lines, for example, that are common in, say, South Georgia. But on the other side, clearly and distinctly, a set of homes that were built by the same developer. Now here in the middle, well, see, at the end of that long line of identical homes, which looks like perhaps a new development in Milton or Brampton, Mississauga. Here is another, a townhome, a modern home. This is one with modern architecture, a carport, and an upper and lower flat. Now this one is also more of a South Georgia kind of home, maximizing square footage. Basically, that's how they build them, to maximize number of square feet enclosed within the home. But this is what's happening. In other words, Eccles has come up. It's now much more complete compared to 10 years ago when they were just building these homes, and you wondered whether in fact haphazard crew of builders would eventually coalesce, in other words build something that's cohesive. This is Flamingo Avenue. Flamingo Avenue, the streets have names, and Cacique Drive. As you go deeper into Eccles, you can see that a lot of the homes are still under construction. The sand on the roadways tells you that those homes are still being constructed. But an empty lot. Yeah, but clearly a neighborhood that is maturing, that is almost complete. Now, what's the implications for this? It's another townhome, right? A modern home in the middle of traditional angled gabled roofs. Implications are that, you know, these homes that are now built out of concrete entirely are much more they're warmer, because this is the tropics. They should be more expensive to cool, because you actually do need air conditioning. And instead of building, say, central air conditioning systems to cool these hotter concrete structures, we continue to build with air conditioning units hanging off the side of the homes. And that is one of the developments that still has to be taken care of, because even in Ontario, where it's cold for most of the year, the homes are now built standard with central air conditioning. And that's because you can do heating and cooling using the same duct system. And I think that's one of the features that really needs to be adopted for efficiency and for aesthetics. In other words, it's not invisible. The air conditioning units hanging off the side of the road, hanging off the side of the building, is not invisible. Nor is the plumbing, you know, the sewer lines, toilets for the toilets, and the plumbing hanging off the side of the building. Those are also not invisible, and they don't give the right aesthetic. So there's still a lot of changes to make. So as I say here, it's Cacique Drive, Block EE in Eccles. That's where we are. And we've just come down from the south, right? We've just come down. This is the south boundary, the southernmost street. And looked at those homes. No, the continuation of the street is called Tacoma Street, Block EE in Eccles. Now we're not going to continue there. We're just going to cut this video off for now. Guyana Revenue Authority State Warehouse, Eccles Industrial Site, is over here. So that's it, guys. That's what's happening here in Eccles. Thought it would be interesting while exploring this neck of the woods, Providence, Peters Hall, and Eccles, to give you an insight about what has happened here in the last 5 to 10 years. And this is what, if you've left Guyana you know, more than 10 years ago, you probably never saw this side of Eccles because it's new, it's all brand new. And the whole point is to show you, bring you up to date on what it looks like now in 2023 in Guyana. So they begin to pave the roads and so on. So this is what's happening here, guys. Share your comments in the comments below. Share with me what you think about this new housing development area in Eccles. I'll show you more of it as time goes by. But leave a comment, let me know what you think. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in the fastest growing country in the world. Later!